Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
And we got a new game. It's called Make It or Break It, named by our stellar producer, Dagan Hughes. And the game is this, boys. Here's what we do. We're going to pick a team apiece. We're going to go around, and a team that over the next 3-4 games, and this was Josh Pastner's idea, great idea for a game, will determine basically the future of this team. We're not saying everything is riding on it, but we are saying a lot is riding on the next 2 weeks of these teams for various reasons. I'm going to start with one. I'm going to start with Eric Musselman and Arkansas, because what we have come to expect from Arkansas is they got out of the gate slow, which they've done again this year, right? Ton of transfers, take some time to get going. They gel when it matters come SEC play, and then they end up getting the Elite Eight, right? That's just kind of what we expect. Well, this Arkansas team had a few more stumbling blocks early on. Now, they got that win against Duke, which was huge at home. But here's their schedule coming up. And the SEC is a gauntlet. Not a lot of easy ones. Auburn at home, at Georgia, at Florida, Texas A&M at home, and then a South Carolina team that is better than they've been at home. 5 games of which you can't end up going 2-3 over that stretch, or else you're in some deep trouble here to try to make the NCAA tournament. You'd have to close so strong down the stretch. So I'm saying Arkansas is one of those teams that absolutely headlines my list of make it or break it. Tyler, who do you got?
I'm going to roll with Cincinnati. And the reason I say that right now, they're 11-2. They're well coached, Wes Miller. They play hard. But also their next 3 games, they're at BYU. Then they have Texas at home. And then they're at Baylor. And, you know, those 3 games to me are going against quality opponents, all ranked opponents, a couple on the road, no easy games in the Big 12. And they're entering a new conference. And I will say Cincinnati hasn't gotten a lot of credit, but I think they are one of these teams that if they win a couple of these next 3 games, I think it could really put them in the spotlight and give them the confidence going forward to be one of these teams that gets an automatic bid.
All right. In full disclosure, the head coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats is what to you, Tyler?
I mean, he's a former teammate, one of my best friends, but, you know, I pull for him. I got to give him credit, man. I think he's doing a heck of a job. He's
I know. I'm just
so
kidding.
like
I'm just kidding with you, but love it. Josh, who do you got?
I got Jeff. I got Nebraska. I think I think Nebraska's right there. I love Coach Hoiberg. I think their team is really talented. They've got to win against Michigan State. They've got to win at Kansas State. They're 1-1 in the Big Ten, and you look at their schedule coming up because they're right there in that top 60 range of that net rankings right now. And let me tell you, tomorrow's game versus Indiana is humongous for Nebraska and humongous for Indiana. And I think for Indiana, Ware and John, because Ware didn't play last game. But I do think Ware and Johnson might be back. Xavier Johnson might be back for that game. But you look at this upcoming schedule, Indiana at home, at Wisconsin, and then home versus Purdue. I think they've got to get one of those 3, Nebraska. They've got to get one of those 3. And then you've got the at Iowa, at Rutgers, and you've got to split that for sure. And so I think for Nebraska to make the jump, and I think they're a sleeper team. They're talented. They've got good players. They're a team to look out for. But this next 3-game stretch, Indiana, Wisconsin, Purdue, they've got to win one of those 3 to make a real push in the Big Ten.
Yeah, a couple good transfers. Rink Mass coming from Bradley, Bryce Williams coming from
and he's
Charlotte.
coming off of and Rink Mass is coming off of a surgery, so he's been. But they just destroyed South Carolina State the other day. They played well without Rink. Rink's really good. They'll get him back for tomorrow's game, supposedly.
All right, so St. John's beat Butler tonight. We know that. a lot of people, myself included, had the Johnnies in the preseason top 25 because of Rick Pitino. Didn't really matter who the players were at that point. I knew he'd get pretty good players. They haven't done quite enough to be in that NCAA tournament conversation yet, but they've got a stretch here that could put them there. And it goes like this: at Villanova, Providence at home, at Creighton, at Seton Hall, Marquette at home. I mean, absolutely brutal. So one way or the other, I think we're going to know whether St. John's is a complete pretender and they have no shot of getting in, or if they can go even 3-2 in this stretch, with the right ones. But I don't even know if it matters. Get 3 of these, and you're in pretty good shape, because then you've got some resume wins under your belt, no matter who you're beating out of these teams, other than Seton Hall on the road. So St. John's would be my other one, my second team that to me is going to be make it or break it over the next few weeks. Tyler?
My next team is Virginia. And the reason I say that is because this is kind of a different Virginia that we're used to. This is a first-year team, full of freshmen and sophomores, but also Tony Bennett's team are very disciplined and they don't beat themselves. And so when I look at this schedule, and, they have Louisville at home, and if you lose that game, you should receive a postseason ban anyways. And then they're at NC State, and then they're at Wake Forest. And I think these are all 3 probably must-wins for Virginia. And I do like Reese Beekman. And to me, the reason why Virginia is so intriguing is because I want to see how quickly Tony Bennett can really develop a young team, because his teams are so, they're so disciplined and they're full of veterans. So Virginia would be my second team.
Josh?
Yep, I had my second team was Virginia, so I won't speak a lot. Great minds think alike, Tyler. That's why I recruited him. I want to let everyone know I did recruit Tyler when I was an assistant in Arizona. I was there before North Carolina and everybody else.
He sure
Poplar
was.
Bluff, Missouri. I was hanging down there all the time. So great minds think alike. And I agree with you. This is a big stretch for Virginia, especially after what happened, that tough loss versus Notre Dame where nobody saw that coming, especially that margin. So I'll switch to my third team, which is a little outside the box, is Indiana State. I think Indiana State is really good. They're maybe not well known nationally, but if you look at the way they play, they are a 5-out team. They move the basketball. Now, you might say, well, what's their next stretch of games? Here's the thing. I think they're going to win a lot of games in their conference. And what can happen then becomes, if they're a 28, 29 type of win team and they don't win their conference championship, will they have a chance to get an at-large? And you look kind of opening up in this league play. You're at Evansville, then at Northern Iowa, and at Drake, and then Belmont, and then versus Missouri State. This is a great stretch. If they can, now they've got to win these games, and they're good enough to win them. If they do, you're going to start seeing, okay, they're going to start pounding a lot of wins. And then if somehow they don't get the automatic bid, where do they fall into? Because they are a dangerous team that could beat somebody in that first or second round and upset somebody, and all of a sudden kind of be like what Princeton did last year, beating Arizona, Missouri, and getting to the Sweet 16. Indiana State plays a unique style, outstanding coach. They got good players, and they can shoot the basketball.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, I'm going to give you one more before we wrap. BYU, are they for real or not? We're going to see them coming into the Big 12. Cincinnati at Baylor, at UCF, Iowa State coming up. But
thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.